Hey guys, so lesson 15, I made some modifications to it for your classes. So just wanted to send you this one to hopefully this will make sense. But so let's look at 15.1. Starting here, I think it's page 196. We have some examples to work. So each one of these represents different numbers, each of the letters. So if we have 3/5 times 5/3, A is going to be 1, because when we multiply a number by its reciprocal, we always get 1. So the multiplicative inverse is what that's called. So multiplicative inverse is a very fancy name for reciprocal. So when a number is multiplied by its reciprocal, it always equals 1. Okay, so it's just another name for the reciprocal. And then, so if I take 7 times something, and that's going to be 1, well, I have to multiply by the reciprocal of 7 over 1. Well, the reciprocal of 7 over 1 then would be 1 over 7. So when I multiply a number by its reciprocal, it's always 1. Okay, so C times D is going to be 1, so I can just make up a number. Here I have a polyhedron dice thing. So if I have, well, let's not use 2, that's boring. Oh, it rolled right off the screen. So if I have 24, okay, for C, oops, C equals 24, then D is going to equal 1 over 24 because they are reciprocals, okay? So 24 times 1 over 24 equals 1, okay? So we're going to look back to some number bonds from before. Okay, so remember when we did number bonds with addition and subtraction? Let's come up here. We're gonna do remind you that part plus part equals whole. And back when we did that, we would do like 14 here and 11 plus 3, right? That was our number bond, and this is our whole, our part, and our part. We add those, okay? So that's for addition. Then to undo that, we would do the whole minus the part to get the other part, okay? So this shows 14 minus 11 equals 3, but it also shows that 11 plus 3 equals 14. Okay, so the same number bond shows the addition and the subtraction. Okay, so for multiplication, as you know, multiplication, we will do part times part to get the whole. So it's very similar, okay? But to undo multiplication, we do division. So whole divided by part equals part. So let's look at a different one. If I have a whole of 12 and one of my parts is 2 and I don't know the other part, okay, so this would mean 2 times x equals 12. Well, if I didn't know what that was, I could do 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So that would tell me that x equals 6. Okay, so this is whole and then part times part. Okay, so let's look at some with multiplication down here at this first, all these examples. And these are the answers that will go with that. Okay, but on your homework today, when you do page 200 number 1 and 2, you're going to be making number bonds like these and then writing the sentence, the math sentence to undo them. So I want you to know how to do that. So if we have 1/2 x equals -5, okay, so we're taking, this is our whole, right? So we're going to take -5 as our whole. One part of it is 1/2. The other part is the x. So 1/2 times x equals -5. So that's our number bond to show this equation. So to figure out what x is, I'm going to have to do -5 divided by 1/2. And that's going to tell me what the value of x is. So if you have your calculator, you can use that to plug it in and just work that. Or you could do -5 times 2 over 1, because when we multiply or divide fractions, we do times the reciprocal. So that would be -10. Okay, so in your calculator, you would do, oh, this guy's not working. You would do -5 divided by 1 over 2 gives us -10. And then to check it, I would do 1/2 times -10. So 1/2 times -10, and I got -5, so that's the correct answer. Okay, so this is going to be x equals -10. Okay, let's look at B here. We have -2x equals -9. Okay, so our whole is -9. We have -2, and then we have x. How are we going to figure it out? We're going to take our whole divided by our part to get our other part. So we take 9 divided by -2, and that will be what x is. Well, I know a negative divided by negative is automatically going to be a positive, and 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So I know that x is going to be 4.5. Okay, so x equals 4.5. So then if I take, to check it, I would do -2 times 4.5. And when I plug that in my calculator, I want to get the whole that was on my paper, which was -9. And sure enough, I got -9. Okay, so let's look at this last one. Why don't you do C, go ahead and set up the number bond yourself for this equation. Go ahead and work it just like this. Set up the number bond and solve it and find the answer. Pause the video. It's not an ed puzzle, so you're just going to pause the video and then come back and check it. Okay, so hopefully you did this where you paused it and did it yourself. So we have 1/4 as our whole, then we have -1/2 here times x. So we're going to take 1/4 divided by -1/2. That's going to be whatever x is. So if I do 1/4 divided by -1/2, that gives me -1/2. Okay, so then if I take -1/2 times -1/2, that should be 1/4. I'm going to plug it in my calculator. -1/2 times -1/2 equals 1/4. Okay. So x equals -1/2. All right, so those are how you're going to do the ones with multiplication on the assignment for today. Let's jump back up here and look at what we call the additive inverse. So if we have -6 plus 6, that's going to be 0, right? So what can I add to 11 to get 0? If you said -11, you are correct. And so any number, so basically 11 and -11 are opposites, -6 and 6 are opposites. So I can pick any number for G. Where'd my little dice go? Oh, here we go. Oh, let's not use one. Okay, it landed on 8. So if that's 8, then H has to be -8, because 8 plus -8 equals 0. And those are called additive inverses. Or the additive inverse, I guess, is another word for opposites. Okay, so down here, look at letter E. Okay, we have x plus -2 equals -6.5. Okay, so just like we did with multiplication, when we talked about that up here, we do the whole and then we do the part plus the part. Okay, so very similar setup. So our whole is still over here. So we have -6.5 as our whole. We have x here, and we have -2 here, and I'm going to add. So I'm adding something to -2 to get -6.5. So to undo that, I'm going to do whole minus part equals part, right? So I'm going to do -6.5 minus, well, I can't minus x because I don't know what it is. So I'm going to do minus -2, and that is going to be where I have a minus. So I'm going to change it to plus a positive because we add the opposite, or add the opposites. So -6.5 plus 2 is going to be -4.5. So x is going to be -4.5, and I'm going to check it by using my calculator and saying, instead of x, I'm going to have -4.5 plus -2, and when I push equals, it should equal -6.5. Okay? So f, how about you try f real quick by yourself? And then, so pause the video, pause it, and then come back after you get done with it and check. So here's our number bond, 1/2, and then we have -2 plus x down here. So we're going to take 1/2 minus -2, that's going to be x, and since we're minusing a negative again, when we minus anything, we're add the opposite. So change that to positive 2. So x is equal to, well, 1/2 plus 2 is 2.5. Okay, so when I plug that in my calculator, I'm going to do -2 plus, my x I said was 2.5 or 2.5. When I push equals 0.5, that's the same thing as 1/2. But if I didn't know that, I could push this toggle button right above enter, and it will make it a fraction for me. Okay? All right. So this was x equals 2.5. All right, let's look at your homework assignment in your book. Turn to page 200. Okay, what you're going to do is you are going to pause the video after I get done explaining. You're going to X out this, cross this out, copy these instructions for page 200, number 1 and number 2. Okay, so pause the video and do that. Okay, so hopefully you pause the video. All of these, you're going to do the same thing. You're making a number bond, so you should have a number bond and an answer to whatever the letter is over to the side. So there should be 9 number bonds when you get finished. And they should look, there should be kind of a lot of work there, okay, when you get finished. So that's number 1 and number 2. These are not in Schoology today. These are for you to do in the book, and I will look at them on Thursday, okay, in class. You also need to do the test review. If you were not here on Tuesday when I handed it out, there's a PDF for that on Schoology for Tuesday. You can print that out or just use a sheet of paper to do that. So when you come to class Thursday, both of those things need to be done, page 200 and the review packet. Okay? Hope this helps, guys. Have a great day.